Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I am going to be giving you my picks and analysis for Week 15 of the 2016 NFL season. Well, anyway, people, the first game I'm going to talk about, I'm going to take Seattle at home over the Rams. Now, the Rams have dominated this series in recent time, actually. They have won 3 consecutive against Seattle. However, Seattle is a flawless 6-0 at home this season. You look at quarterback Russell Wilson had a dreadful, abysmal performance last week. I don't think that's going to happen 2 times in a row. I don't think the Rams quarterback is going to be able to do that much against Seattle in this game. The Rams offense is struggling. They're only averaging about 15 points per game. They're 32nd in the league in scoring offense, and they've also been reeling. They've lost 8 of their last 9, lost 4 consecutive games. Todd Gurley basically called the offense out and said it was like a middle school offense. And Jeff Fisher being terminated, they got all this distraction. I think it's safe to say Seattle will win this at home, and I'm taking Seattle at home. Next game, I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins. Well, actually, I'm going to take the New York Jets at home to defeat the Miami Dolphins. I had Miami earlier, but I had a little change of heart. I think Ryan Tannehill, quarterback of Miami, his status is uncertain right now at best, and I think that will factor in immensely in the outcome of this game. Now, the Jets won last week. They barely got by the 49ers. Jets are only 1-5 at home. However, this is a divisional game, and Miami right now, they're on a roll. They've won 7 of 8. But they're only 2-4 on the road, and they are playing against the Jets, and the Jets are generally very competitive against Miami. Jets are at home. Quarterback Ryan Tannehill is a very good shot of not playing, so I like the Jets to win this one at home. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers to win on the road against the Chicago Bears. Now, Green Bay has won 3 consecutive games. Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback, made a semi-proclamation stating he believed that the Packers can win 6 consecutive games to close out the season. Well, he's halfway home. Now, Green Bay, their defense has played very well in the last few games during this time, and they've only given up 36 points in those 3 games. 2 interceptions by Demarius Randall last week. And defense is coming alive. Chicago, 3-3 at home. They are reeling, though, lost 4 of 5, and they have lost 5 of the last 6 to the Packers. I like the Packers to win this one on the road. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Houston Texans at home to defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Houston is 5-1 at home. They have won 5 straight against Jacksonville. You look at Jacksonville, they have lost 8 consecutive games right now, just 1-5 on the road. They're only averaging 18.5 points per game. They are number 27 in scoring offense in that department. Houston may not have J.J. Watt, but they still certainly have a good enough team to beat Jacksonville. They have better defense, and I believe they will get this job done. Houston right now is atop the AFC South division. I don't think they're going to squander a chance to at least maintain this lead. The Titans are probably going to lose this week because they're going to Kansas City, and Houston can really capitalize on this. I like the Texans to win at home. Next game, I like the Buffalo Bills to win at home over the Cleveland Browns. There's been some talk and speculation about Buffalo head coach Rex Ryan being terminated sometime in the near future. Buffalo has dropped 5 of 7. However, they are number 1 in rushing yards per game at about 155. Running back LaShawn McCoy, I believe he should have a very strong game against the Cleveland Browns because Cleveland, they haven't even won a game this year. They've lost 27 of their last 28, counting the preseason this season. They are number 31 in run defense in terms of rushing yards allowed per game at about 146. And they're only averaging about 16 points per game. That is good for 31st in the NFL. Cleveland is not playing well. Buffalo isn't, but Cleveland is playing worse than Buffalo, and Buffalo is at home. I like the Bills to win at home. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens at home to win over the Philadelphia Eagles. Baltimore is 5-2 at home, and they have the #1 run defense in the NFL. Running back Ryan Matthews for Philadelphia, his status is questionable right now. Philadelphia is just 1-6 on the road. They had a sterling 3-0 start, but they are 2-8 in their last 10 games. They are plummeting right now to earth. They really don't have the playmakers on offense that are needed in order for them to be consistently successful week to week. In Baltimore, okay, they lost a close game to New England last week, but they are still, as far as their scoring defense, one of the best in the league, giving up about 18 points per game, #4 in the NFL. And Baltimore being at home, the defense is ravenous, I think, once again, and I like the Ravens to win at home over the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to win at home over the Tennessee Titans. Kansas City is on a rampage right now. They have won 8 of 9 games. They are 20-3 in their last 23 regular season games. They are playing at home. They have 14 defensive interceptions. They have playmakers on this team. This team is at least a borderline upper echelon defensive team right now, I believe. Tennessee is 3-3 on the road. It's still respectable, and they're #3 in rushing yards per game with about 145. So it'll be a good matchup with the running game of the Titans against the run defense of Kansas City. Running back to Marco Murray, he may not run for. He may get 100 yards. He might not get much more than that. I think Kansas City contains the running game of Tennessee, and it will be enough for them to win. But with that combined with their defense overall and the fact that they have these playmakers on the team, I think on defense, I think that'll be enough for them to win. I like the Chiefs to win at home. The next game, I'm going to take my New York Giants to win at home over the Detroit Lions. Giants have won 7 of 8. They are 6-1 at home. Wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr., he came through in the clutch again last week. He doesn't always put up prodigious statistical numbers, but he makes a lot of catches when the team really needs it. They wind up sweeping Dallas this season. Detroit now is on a roll themselves. They have won 8 of 9. They're respectable 3-3 on the road. Quarterback Matt Stafford, however, is going to play with a dislocated finger. Now, I admire Matt Stafford. He's a great quarterback. He seems to have a lot of courage, a lot of perseverance. The Detroit may make a good game of this, but I do like the Giants being at home. The fact that Matt Stafford's probably not going to be 100% in this game. The Giants are playing very well, especially at home, and I like them to win this one. Next game, I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings to win at home over the Indianapolis Colts. Minnesota is 4-2 at home. They have played very well over the last 3 weeks, even though they didn't win all those games. They have played decently, I should say. They're #1 in scoring defense right now. Now, Indianapolis is 3-3 on the road. Their offense is somewhat sporadic, and their defense, as far as their pass defense, is number 26 in the league in terms of passing yards allowed, about 262. I think quarterback Sam Bradford of Minnesota should have a good game in this one. And the Colts are also number 25 in scoring defense, giving up about 26 points per game. I like Minnesota to win this one at home. Next game, I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to win on the road over the Cincinnati Bengals. Pittsburgh has won 4 consecutive games. They are on a rampage right now. They've allowed about 12.5 points per game over the last 4, or at least close to that. Running back Le'Veon Bell had over 200 rushing yards last week and 3 touchdowns. Now, you look at Cincinnati, they have their modest 2-game winning streak. Tight end Tyler Eifert, he had 3 touchdowns over the last 2 games. Now, Cincinnati, their rushing yards allowed per game is 119.1. It's number 25 in the league, and I expect the Le'Veon Bell to have a very good game against this defense, run defense, and I do like the Steelers to win this one at home and win this one on the road and continue their hot streak. Now, I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals to win at home over the New Orleans Saints. Now, this game is a coin flip, but Arizona, 4-2-1 at home. They have receivers, I think, should have a big game against the number 29 pass defense in the NFL in terms of passing yards per game allowed. And you have New Orleans right now. They've lost 4 or 5. They really did not play well at all last week. The defense kept them in it, but what's really uncharacteristic is quarterback Drew Brees over those last 2 games, 0 touchdown passes and 6 interceptions. Now, I think he's going to improve in this one. He'll bounce back. I expect him to have at least 1 touchdown pass in this one. I don't think he's going to go 3 consecutive without a touchdown pass, but it's not going, whatever he does, I don't think it's going to be enough to defeat Arizona. Arizona is barely clinging to their playoff hopes right now, and right now, being at home, I don't think they're going to squander the opportunity to at least stay barely in the playoff hunt. I do like Arizona to win at home. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons to win at home over the San Francisco 49ers. Atlanta right now, number 1 scoring offense in the NFL, averaging about 33 points per game. Number 3 passing yards per game. And also, they got wide receiver Julio Jones, who is a lethal weapon to say the least. And San Francisco just 0-6 on the road this season. They've lost 12 consecutive games. They squandered a lead last week against the Jets, which they should have won. They're finding manifold ways to lose, just every which way but lose. They find a way to lose. I think they're going to lose this one as well. I mean, the passing defense is adequate. They're number 15 in the league. They're giving up about 250 passing yards per game on average, but you have a mediocre passing game against a phenomenal passing offense. Against Atlanta, it's not going to be enough. I like Atlanta to win at home. Next game, I'm going to take the New England Patriots to win on the road against the Denver Broncos. New England is infallible, 6-0 on the road. They're going to be seeking retribution against Denver for that loss in the AFC Championship game last season. I believe the final score was 20-18. They could have very easily won that game. That was when Denver had quarterback Peyton Manning. This season, Denver does not have Peyton Manning, of course. I don't think Denver is as good as they were last season. Denver, their Achilles heel, of course, is their run defense. They are ranked number 29th in the NFL in rushing yards allowed per game at about 127. I expect New England, their running attack, to run amok in this game. I think when I look at this team, the Denver does have a very good, as far as their pass rush goes, is very good. Von Miller is leading the way with 13.5 sacks. I think New England's their front on offense, the pass blockers, I should say the pass rushing blockers, I think they will perform adequately enough to contain the pass rush of Denver, and this will help enable them to win this game. I like New England on the road. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Oakland Raiders to win on the road against the San Diego Chargers. This is a divisional game. This actually will probably be pretty close, I think. Oakland is 5-1 on the road. They're averaging about 28 points per game. They are, which is second in the NFL. They have wide receiver Amari Cooper, but San Diego, they're averaging nearly 27 points per game. Their offense is still very good as well. And you look at San Diego, they have 16 defensive interceptions, which is number 1 in the NFL right now, but they're also have a propensity to turn the ball over. They have 22 turnovers, and the thing about it is when you have all those turnovers, Oakland can very well capitalize on some turnovers. In this one, I think that could be the difference in the game, and I do like Oakland to win on the road. Next game, I like the Dallas Cowboys to win at home over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Dallas right now, number 2 in rushing yards per game. And you look at the Dallas team, okay, the last 2 games, they have not really looked that impressive. They lost the last game to the New York Giants. The game before that, they barely got by Minnesota. I know a lot of people might actually be taking Tampa Bay, but I think Dallas still is going to find a way to win this one. I don't think they're going to lose 2 consecutive. Tampa Bay has won 5 consecutive games. They are on a roll. They have playmakers on this team, 14 defensive interceptions. Their defense is, on average, has given up 13 points per game over the last 5 games. The defense has been sensational, to say the least. I would not be shocked if Tampa Bay pulls this one out, but I like Dallas to bounce back and win this one at home. I think the running attack will be enough. Though I think Ezekiel Elliott will have a very good game. I think in this particular one, I see Dak Prescott bouncing back. They know what happened in the last game, and I think you'll see a much better performance by Dallas. I like the Cowboys to win at home. Last but not least, I'm going to take the Washington Redskins to win at home over the Carolina Panthers. Washington is 6-3-1 the last 10 games. They're playing very well. They're only have allowed 18 sacks, so they're giving quarterback Kirk Cousins a very good protection. Carolina right now is 1-5 on the road. It looks like it's a Super Bowl loser hangover, so to speak. And Cam Newton, even though his team emerged victorious last week, did not really look that impressive last week in that win. I believe it was over the Chargers. Carolina as a team, they are just not the same team they were last season. If I remember correctly, they did lose at least one receiver, I believe, and they lost cornerback Josh Norman. I think it's really strongly been to this team's detriment, and the Panthers are just not what they were before. Carolina may make this close, but Washington right now, they're just playing better than Carolina, and I do like the Redskins to win at home. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.